So test plan. Okay. So let's go to performance testing life cycle. Okay. So the first stage, I want the complete energy in the class, guys. Whenever I ask something, try to type it on the chat window. So can somebody please type all the life cycles of performance testing life cycles, like all the stages. NFR gathering, wonderful. That's the first one. Okay. What is the second one? Test planning. Wonderful. Test planning slash, some people call this as test strategy, even though there is a subtle difference. Okay. Okay. Then test design. Okay. And then execution. And finally, reporting. Okay. Test reports and analysis. Wonderful. And if there are any bottlenecks, so you have a bottleneck analysis. Okay. But only if you have a bottlenecks. So wonderful, guys. So this is the different stages of performance testing life cycle. So here we are talking about the test plan. So who is the responsible per person to create the test plan? It's the test lead, okay, or test manager. Okay. So it is their responsibility. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't know what a test plan should look like, and you shouldn't know what it is like and all that. So in most of the interviews, if you get as a QA, okay, or in other words, as a manual tester, okay, or automation tester or performance testing, or a performance tester, you're going for the interviews, okay, you're going for the interviews. So this is one question they might ask. What is, I don't say they will ask, but they might ask. Okay, what is the question? Have you involved in the test planning phase? Okay, or they will ask you, did you get a chance to create a test plan? Create a test plan. Okay, so you listen to the class and you can answer those questions appropriately. Okay, you can either say that I have created a test plan, or you can say that, to be on the safer side, you can say that I was involved in creating the test plan. Okay, so if I would say I have created a lot of test plans, I would say I have created test plans. So these are one of the possible answers that you can give after attending these classes. Okay, I was involved or assisted my lead in creating the test plan. Okay, so this is the safest answer, or you can say that I have created the test plan. If you're super confident after this class, you say I have created a test plan. Okay, so I don't know if this name assistant. Okay, I think that's right. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe that is right. Okay, so involved or assisted my lead in creating the test plan, or you say I have created the test plan. So this is typically a general question, usual question that you will be asked. Okay, whether you're going for manual testing interviews or performance testing interviews. Okay, so this is the general question they would ask. So more or less, overall the test plan template, the sections, everything will be same, whether you're going for a manual testing interview or a performance testing interview or an automation interview. Okay, only certain sections will change. So overall you will get a feel for after attending this class, and if you're going for a manual testing, you can adjust this. I mean, whatever I've told you, you can make some little bit of changes, and you can say, you have done a QA test plan or a manual testing test plan, and you're attending performance test as a performance tester itself, you can say that you have created or assisted your lead in creating the performance test. Okay, now let's start looking into it. Okay, as discussed in the class, any important activity in your life, there is a proper planning. Okay, there is a proper plan. Okay, so it could be a small activity or a big activity, but if it's an important activity or occasion, you have a proper plan. For example, marriage. Okay, for example, preparing for your certifications or exams. Okay, so as simple as your weekend plan. Okay, obviously you say weekend plan, the weekend plan itself says that you're planning for the weekend. Okay, so the next weekend, which happens every 7 days, there is a weekend every 7 days, which happens every 7 days, you have a plan for that. So definitely every single activity in your life, there is a plan. Definitely here your client is shelling out lot of money. Okay, lots of money. So definitely there is a plan. Definitely there is a plan. Okay, so shelling out a lot of money. Definitely there, instead of saying there is a plan, there should be a plan. There should be a plan. Okay, there should be a plan. Okay, so so for QA, they have their own plan. When I say QA, quality analyst, okay, or manual tester, okay, quality analyst or a manual testing, or some people call this as system testing, okay, or as a part of it, there is system integration testing, okay. There is a test plan for that. For example, when you get into the project, there is no QA or manual testing. It's not used inside the projects. They're used outside. Inside the projects, they use system testing. Okay. So for system testing team, there is a system testing test plan. Okay. System integration testing happens after system testing. Okay. So for them, there is a SIT test plan, system integration test plan. For automation team, automation is using, if you're wondering what is automation testing, usually it is done using the tools called Selenium or UFT or RFT. They have their own plan, which we call it as automation test plan. For security testing, they have their own plan, which is security testing test plan. Similarly, for performance testing, we have our own plan, which is performance testing test plan. Okay, more or less for all these test plans, the template is same. Whether it's system integration testing test plan, okay, system testing test plan, or system integration testing test plan, automation test plan, security testing test plan, or performance testing test plan, the template is same. Okay, template as in how the sections, what are the sections that are included, how the sections are arranged, overall in general, the template remains the same, but contents will change. Today I'm going to talk about performance testing test plan. I'm going to talk about performance testing test plan. Okay, so this test plan has different sections. So we will first have a quick look at all the sections which are involved. Okay, all the sections which are involved in the test plan. Okay, first we will look at all the sections. Okay, then we will go through each of those sections. Okay, we'll go through each of those sections. Okay, so let's look at it, guys. So here is the document I have prepared for this, especially for this class. Okay, so let's have a look at this document. Okay, so okay, so I've created this test plan assuming that it's for the Mercury Web Tools application. Okay, so I've given this as Mercury sample project, or you can say instead of project, typically if it's a real project, it says Mercury Web Tools. Okay, so Mercury Web Tools. Okay, so let's say this test plan is for the Mercury Web Tools. The release typically will be whatever the year it is 2018. So 2018. Okay, so this is the third. This one. Okay, okay. Oh, Kausalya. It's Kausalya. Okay, fine. Okay, so you usually have release 1, release 2, release 3. Okay, I'll tell you what is release 1, release 2, release 3. March. Okay, so you add like 3 months: March, April, May. Okay, this is release 1. Okay, so this is release 1. Okay, May, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay, so this is release 2. Okay, so October, November, December. Okay, October to December, this is release 3. Okay, so this is how usually companies plan for. Okay, it need not have to happen in every simple company, but typically this is how they plan for. Okay, any projects. And then Jan to January, February, March. Okay, so I hope I haven't missed anything. Okay, so this is release 4. Okay, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, this is where it is. August. Okay, that's what I was wondering. September, October, November. Okay, and this is December to January, February, December, January, February. So typically this is how in my company or most of the projects that I was involved in will plan their releases. You usually plan their releases like this. Okay, so the project will be typically for 3 months. Okay, project will be typically for 3 months. Okay. Okay, so this is one usually they do in the form of releases. So they do the release one. Let's say we are doing the performance testing for this Mercury Web Tools itself. Okay, Mercury Web Tools project. Okay, so they don't really they don't create the project at one go. First, in the form of releases, they handle the project. March to May, they consider it as one release. They create a certain aspect of the web application. Okay, that Mercury Web Tool web application, and after May they release it into the public world. So the whole project is not done yet. Internally they keep working on the project and they keep adding additional features and they're enhancing the existing features that will happen in the next release. Okay, and they release it in the next one. So that enhancements, additions, adding new features, it's a continuous process there. Once the product is done, it will never be enough, guys. Okay, for simple example, let's take WhatsApp. Okay, let's take WhatsApp maybe 5 years back. First time it has launched. Do we have audio calling in that? At 5 years back, if somebody has used, does it have an audio calling, guys? Did it had audio calling? I'm just asking you. No, it didn't had an audio calling. Did it had video calling? Did it had video calling? Did it had video calling? Probably 5 years back, I'm saying. The answer is no. Okay, the answer is no. So, come on. Okay, so there is no. So, did it give an opportunity to delete once you have messaged somebody? Did it opportunity to delete something? No. So there are so many features. These are the obvious features that we have observed. At least I have observed. But there are hundreds of features that were not there. So as the application or as the WhatsApp is becoming popular, they kept adding these features. And those features, or they enhance the existing features and they keep adding the existing, like status. Like status is also there. Okay, which was not there before. So what they do is they release the base product and it becomes popular. They keep adding it. How? For every 3 months, they create a product. Let's say from March to May, they decided that they will work on the audio calling. So they continue to work on the audio calling. By the end of May, okay, which is June, they release the audio calling feature into it. Then they work on the video calling. Then they work on the status. They work on the delete options. Like this, they keep adding the features and they keep enhancing the existing features. And that happens in the form of releases. And these usually are industry accepted years or months for the releases. This is typically, they call it as release 1. This is the financial year, guys. January is your regular year. So March is your financial. Is it March? No. I got these numbers totally inappropriate. Yes, no, it's not March. It starts with April, May, June, July. Okay, April, May, June. Okay, so sorry for that. April, May, June, and this one starts in July, August, September. That's what I was wondering. This looks weird. Okay, September, and then the next release starts in August, September, October. August, September, October. It's for 3 months, guys. April, May, June, July, August, September, October. October, November, December. Yeah. Then you have Jan, February, and March. Yeah, these are the releases. Okay. So your fiscal year usually starts with April. So that is considered as a release 1. Okay, if you're wondering about the taxes and all that, typically it will end in March, and your taxes, everything you have to, if you remember, if you're working, you know when you pay the taxes, guys. By when you are supposed to pay the taxes in US, guys? I'm just asking you, people who are already working in US. People who are already working in India, you know that it is after March, then you start preparing for paying for your taxes and all that. So from April is where the fiscal year starts, okay? Then that's what is the release 1, then release 2, the next 3 months is release 2, then release 3 and release 4. So typically the project happens in this form of releases, okay? And for every release, they will keep adding the existing, keep enhancing the existing features. What they do, guys, what they do? Enhance the existing features, okay, which means that there is a feature, they make it better, or add new features, okay. So these are the things which will happen typically from release to release. For every single release, okay. So this is what it is, okay. So now, so this one was E3. So in 2018, this is for the release 3. This is for the release 3, okay. This is for the release 3 test plan, and this is a performance testing plan. Okay, what is the program name? Mercury Web Tools. Okay, Mercury Web Tools. That's a program name. Or they will give you what is the programming name, and the project is Mercury 18E3 release. Okay, 18E3 release. Okay, and they will give you a project ID. If there is any project ID, you just have to put the project ID over here. Typically, the project ID starts with your project name, so it should start with your Mercury Web Tools. Okay, so some number like this. Okay, so they will give you all this information. You just have to plug that information over here. Okay, now the document version. So usually, first version that you create will be 0.1. Okay. Then you do your own review and you make the changes. It will be 0.2. Then you send it to your colleagues, okay, like your fellow performance testers. They will review. They will give you some suggestions. It will be released version 3. Then your manager will review it. It will be version 4. Okay. Then you send it to the client. He will review it and he will give you different people. You're not, when I said client, it's not one single person, guys. Okay, it could be one single person or it could be more than that. Okay, when I said client, guys, when I said client, okay, it will be one single person, or it could be one single person, or it could be many, when I said client. Okay, so when I said client, okay, when I said client, okay, it could be one single person from your client, or it could be many people from your client. Okay, so let's say there are, for me, the people who have reviewed were 5 people. Okay, usually there are 4 to 5 people who would review my test plans. Okay, so they will review, they will send you the comments, so the versions will become 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. Okay, like this the versions continue to change. Okay. Now what is this approved? After all the reviews are done, okay, then there are no more reviews. You are incorporated, okay, all the reviews. Okay, I'll give you the steps. As to how the test plan is. From the step 1, first you will create the test plan, okay, based on NFR documents and talking to clients about various aspects or topics. Okay, so this is what we call it as. Okay, this is what we can call this as an initial draft. Okay, it's still a draft version. Okay, then there will be a peer review. Peer review is somebody who is of your same level, okay, or your same kind of work you are doing, okay, or I can say fellow performance tester or testers, okay, depending upon how your project is. Okay, so then, okay, your boss review, which is your manager's review. Okay, then every time there is a review, and if you like the review, you incorporate the review comments. Okay, incorporate the review comments. Okay, so Now your manager, okay, your test manager has reviewed it. Your test manager has reviewed it. Again, you have incorporated the comments. Now the initial draft is changing and the versions of the test plans is also changing. Okay, then your client, okay, will review. Client review. Okay, as I've told you, client means it need not have to be one person. It could be more than one person. Again, you will incorporate all the review comments. Now your initial draft has become version 1, then version 2, then version 3 or version 4, version 5, like this. Let's say overall you have 10 versions. Now finally the test plan is in a good shape. Okay, test plan is in good shape. Okay, so what is the next one? Then there is a walkthrough. Okay, there is a walkthrough. Your supervisor is your manager. Or a lead. You are a lead, then your supervisor is a manager. You are a performance tester, then your supervisor is a lead. Okay, your performance tester, likelihood that you creating the test plan is very less. Okay, if you are a performance tester, your lead, likelihood is very, very high. Okay, now you have a walkthrough of this test plan. Okay, walkthrough of a test plan. Can somebody tell me what is a walkthrough? Okay, so what is a walkthrough? This is the 5th step. Can somebody tell me what is a walkthrough? Okay, once the test plan is in a good shape, there is a walkthrough. Okay, wonderful. I want to hear from all of you. When I said walkthrough, what is that first thing that you will understand? Travel through. Okay, okay. What do you understand by the walkthrough? Reviewing. Okay, so when I said walkthrough, yeah, it's a kind of review, but all the reviews are already done. Peer review is done, which is your fellow performance tester. Your test manager's review or your supervisor review is done. Then you are a client review. Okay, and by the way, Majid, stop using the words like supervisor. Once you come to IT field, you shouldn't use the words like supervisor. Everybody is your it doesn't matter, you manager or lead or anybody. Okay, so even though it's your boss, you should never address them as supervisor. You address with their names. Let's say if your boss name is Mark, you just say Mark. Okay, never say boss or supervisor. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So walkthrough means, okay, you call for a meeting. Okay, usually these are online meetings only, just like what I'm doing with the GoTo meeting. It will be your GoTo meetings or WebEx meetings. Okay, it is WebEx meetings or GoTo meetings. Okay, so then typically you are the presenter, the performance tester. You have created the test plan, so you are the presenter. Okay, you open the test plan. Okay, let's say there are 10 people attending the meeting. Okay, 10 people attending the meeting. Okay, it could be your fellow performance testers. Who are the audiences now in the meeting? Okay, who are the audiences? It's your test manager. Okay, all the people from the client side for which it matters. Okay, they will be attending. So when I said client, it could be one person or it could be 10 people attending. Okay, or any other people. Okay, any other personnel. Okay, for which it matters, for whom this plan matters. Okay, this plan matters. For example, database team. For example, infrastructure team, because they are the ones who has to create the infrastructure for us. Database team is to creating the data for us. So all these people will be attending this meeting. Typically it could be 10 people or it could be more than 10 people. Okay, so all these people will be attending and you are the presenter in the meeting. You open the test plan. Okay, you open the test plan. Okay, and you go through each section. Okay, go through each section carefully and you walk them through, which means that you open the section, you talk about what is important in that section, and you wanted to get the general consensus from all of them. For example, you opened a section called test data. And you said that the database team will create the data for performance testing team. Okay, performance testing team. Okay, now definitely there is a guy from database team who is attending that meeting. Now, if he has any issues, he will bring it up and say that, oh, we have already lots of work. We don't have enough. Bandwidth. Will not be able to do it. This is when the program manager means who is the head of the complete program. Okay, he's the head of development team, he's the head of database team, he's the head of infrastructure team, he's the head of every single testing team, may it be a system testing or a QA or performance testing automation. He is the head of the complete program. Okay, so he's the head of development. Every person who is involved, he's the head of that. So he's the guy who will involve and say that, oh, this needs to be done for performance testing team, and you have to do it irrespective of whether you have a bandwidth or not. So I'm just telling you why this walkthrough is important section by section. Okay, so infrastructure, performance testing environment. Okay, there is a section called performance testing environment. Okay, in the test plan, you will open and you say that, oh, exactly like production, we want the same kind of environment. Now somebody from the infrastructure team will come and say that, oh, we have procured this, we cannot procure this, we'll not be able to give you. So there are so many ifs and buts, the things happening, everybody is involved, everybody talks. So you as a presenter, you take a note out of it, and if there are any changes that needs to be done, you will make those changes to the test plan. Okay, like this, you are a presenter, you will walk through section by section, every single section of your test plan, and make sure all the people, who are supposed to hear, they are involved, like infrastructure team, database team, development team, networking team. Okay, everybody is part of that particular test plan walkthrough. Make sure the responsibilities is totally understood and clearly called out. Every single responsibility of different teams are called out clearly in the walkthrough. Okay, so in the walkthrough, if you find that there are any changes that needs to be done, okay, you as the meeting is going on, you note down, okay, all the meeting minutes. Note down all the meeting minutes. Do you know what is this meeting minutes, or popularly in most of the companies they call it as MOM, meeting of the minutes. MOM, okay. Okay. Do you know what it is? Same as running notes? Yes. As the meeting is going on, okay, different people talk about different things. You note down all of it. Since you are the presenter, you are the owner of the test plan, you note down what different people have spoken, about. Let's say infrastructure team has agreed to create the exact environment of performance testing. So you note down that. Database team agreed to put the data into performance testing environment. You note down that. Like this, every single thing that is discussed. Okay. So you will, meeting of minutes is what they call it. So you note down, or you people simply saying are you taking a MOM? Okay. Simply say, are you taking MOM? Which means that, are you noting down what is happening in our meeting? So you take down the meeting of the minutes or meeting of this, okay, MOM, and then if there is anything that you have to make changes as per this meeting, they felt that there are some sections that needs to be changed, so you make changes to those sections if required. Okay, if required after this meeting, okay, you make changes to those sections. Now final draft of test plan is ready. Final draft of test plan is ready. You started with the initial draft. It went through stages, reviews, peer reviews, manager reviews, client reviews. Then finally, your test plan is in a good shape. This is when you call out for a meeting with all the people, with all the important people. Then you give a walkthrough. Walkthrough means showing your test plan to each and every person who are involved in this project. Not only showing them, but walking through the test plan, which means that open each section, talk about that section, and see if there is any people that are involved and they need to get some work done. So clearly talk about those work and make sure you get the approval from them, or it is clearly understood to them that what is the expectation from other teams. Okay, if there is any discrepancies or if there is anything, so solve those discrepancies in the meeting, and finally the walkthrough is done. And if there are any changes that needs to be done after the walkthrough, you make the changes, and the final draft is ready. Now you send this test plan for approval. Now you're send this test plan for approval. Who is supposed to approve, guys? Who is supposed to approve? I created, can I approve? I created, can I approve this test plan? I'm just asking you a question. Who is the best person to approve the test plan? Client. No, not your manager, okay? Not your manager, the client, whoever is the client, okay? That guy or the stakeholders. In simple word, the stakeholders or client or whoever is giving you the project or whoever is giving you the money, that guy is supposed to approve. Okay, so again, approval for me could be one person, okay? Could be one person depending on your project, or it could be more than one person. Okay, for me, there were 3 people who were supposed to approve. Program manager, project manager, and performance testing manager from the client side, not from our side. Okay. Again, I've been saying client side. Did you get that? I'm sure people in India already know that, but people in US, can you relate this term client side? What do they mean by client side? I'm just asking you. Somebody, Melly or whoever, Majid or Yigrim, Kida, anybody can answer this. I just wanted to hear from you as to when I said client side, what is that? What is your impression of it? Okay. I want to, if somebody wants to talk, they can talk. Okay. Again, I'm telling you guys, let's say it's a Bank of America project. Okay. This is a banking application. If you don't know it, it's a banking application. Okay. Now, Bank of America doesn't have enough IT staff to implement the project. So what do they do, guys? They don't have enough IT staff to implement the project. So what do they do? What do they do, guys? Any idea? What do they do? They don't have enough this thing to implement the project. So what do they do? I want to hear from you. What do they do if they don't have enough enough resources to implement the project? Enough resources to implement the project, they outsource it.
They hire them.
They outsource it. Okay, so they outsource the project. Okay, to a IT company. To an IT company. It could be, I'm telling you popular ones, Infosys, okay, Wipro, okay, TCS, okay. Even in US these are popular these days. Okay, TCS or Accenture. Accenture, CTS, Capgemini, okay, Patni. So like this, there are a lot of companies. Okay, so there are a lot of companies. IBM, yeah. Sorry, I missed out IBM. Some of the people are working in IBM. They got offended. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, yeah. So now you are working. Okay, so let's say you are the employee. You are a performance test client and you are the employee of Infosys. Okay, so Infosys. Okay, so you have an Infosys test manager. You have an Infosys test manager. Okay, so he is not the one he is supposed to approve. Okay, manager from Bank of America. Manager from Bank of America. This guy is the client side. When I said client side, this is what I meant. Okay, the client side manager. Okay, client side manager. Yes, you are reporting to Infosys test manager. There is no doubt about it. But there is a manager from the client side as well who works for Bank of America, and this is the guy who is supposed to approve your test plan. This is the guy who is supposed to approve your test plan. Are we clear, guys? Are we clear, all of you? Are we clear, all of you? Everybody who is not in the IT field, now you got an idea as to what is going on here. Okay, you are working for a company called Infosys, but for Infosys they got the project from where? Bank of America. So what happens? Bank of America will give money to Infosys. Money will put Infosys, and Infosys will put some money and give it to you. Give it to you who are a performance tester. Okay, so for you, you might be reporting to Infosys test manager. Your boss is Infosys test manager, but the test plan needs to be approved from the client side manager. Okay, because they are the ones who is giving the money and they are the ones who are supposed to approve. Your test manager approved, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, When I said yours, Infosys Test Manager in this case. Okay, these guys are giving the money, so somebody from this guy, okay, some responsible person from this company has to approve the test plan. Then only you will be confident as well. If something goes wrong halfway through, you can always say that you are the one who have approved the test plan. You should have you should have thought about it before you have approved it. But you yourself have created inside the company Infosys, and you yourself have approved inside the company Infosys. Something goes halfway through, then you are responsible as a company Infosys. When I said you, the Infosys company is responsible, and they will never take that chance. Okay, they will always involve in halfway through and say that, oh, this is what we are planning. Make sure you look at this. You're the one who is giving us money. Make sure you look at this, and if you approve it, and then we'll go ahead and do it. Okay. Wonderful, guys. Are we okay so far? Are we okay so far, everybody? Got a clear understanding what is happening inside the project once you get into the project, guys? All of you. This is not just for the test plan. This class is not just for the test plan. Once you get into the project, what actually should happen? Will it happen in your company or not? May not be. There will be some deviations. But this is how it should be typically. Okay? Now what? Created the test plan. Initial draft is ready. Then after multiple reviews, then it comes to a good shape. Then you have a walkthrough. After the walkthrough, you have a final draft. Now you're sending it for a review. Once the review is done, okay. Last stage is what? Review. Review is already done. Sorry. Approval. Okay. Once the approval is done, okay. As I've told you, it could be one person from the client or many people from the client. Approval needs to be done. Once the approval is done, now we call this as test plan is baseline. What do you say? Test plan is baseline. Approval means what? Sign off, man. Approval is what? Sign off. Approval is what? Sign off. He signed it off. Okay? He has done it. He has read the planning. He is happy with the planning and he signed off, which means that they're happy. And now the test plan is baseline. Baseline means there are no more changes. No more changes to this plan. Okay? But again, I've seen in the real world, they are the ones who will give you money. They can always request for the changes. If the big guy from the client side say, no, we are giving the money, this is not how it should be, then sometimes I went ahead and changed the plan halfway through. After creating the scripts as well, I had to change the test plan, but that happens very rarely. That happens very, very rarely. Okay? But anyways, so this is what it is. Okay? Again, steps, guys. Create the test plan, initial draft, peer reviews, incorporate the review comments, test manager review, then incorporate the review comments, client reviews, more than one, incorporate the reviews, then it gets to a decent shape. Walk through, then you have a final draft. Where is my final draft? Okay, here is the final draft. I will say this is the final draft. After the walkthrough, you have the final draft. After the walkthrough, you have the final draft, and the seventh step is the approval. Okay, once the final draft is done, you send it for the approval. Once the approval is done, your document is baseline. Okay.